So, about money, huh? Is that what this was about, or what?
Yeah.
Is that what this
is?
is?
I heard a little bit of your preamble there, and I just think it's this constant thought that, like, and I think a lot of times, coaches and players can convince themselves that when the guy gets into our environment, it's going to be different. And I hesitate to say it's just about money, because if it's not one thing, it's the other with the guy. You know what I mean? Like, so we can get down to the details, and we can talk about the injury and the disagreement over why he left the sideline, and where the truth is, whether he was hurt. And we're going to hear different versions of that. But the truth is, Rich, it's just always something, And if you want to go back to how he wound up blowing his way out of Pittsburgh, it was over losing a team MVP award to Juju Smith-Schuster, a guy who was in his position group room, won the team MVP, and that pissed him off sufficiently that he blew his way out of a place that he had been for 9 years. In Oakland, it was the weird thing with the helmet and then the feet and all of that. And then in New England, it was, basically publicly taking shots at ownership after he had been there for a total of 8 or 9 days. So, I think it's hard to look at this situation based on the history that's here and say that it's anything else but Antonio Brown being Antonio Brown.
And it's over, right? Or what's the aftermath of this? I mean, it's over in terms of them talking about it, but what is the aftermath of all this?
Well, I mean, let's do the player side first. I mean, I have to think this is the end of Antonio Brown's career. I just
wow, that's really. Really.
I mean, like he said, he's going to get surgery, and when he comes back from surgery, he'll be what? I got to look up how old he is, but he's in his 30s. And I think you have to kind of look at each of these situations, and in the previous situations, you could maybe couch it one way or the other. In Pittsburgh, it's, he's sick of being there and he wanted a new start. In Oakland, you could say they weren't winning. In New England, you could say, well, that's a stringent environment. I mean, in Tampa, he won a Super Bowl there, right? Like, he had a chance to win another one. The quarterback, despite what he says, had his back 100% through everything and kept giving him opportunities and kept wanting to work him into the offense more. And Bruce Arians runs maybe the most player-friendly culture in the NFL, right? The players have a huge part in running that team. And I think if you're another team, you have to look at that and say, if it's not going to work, if it wasn't going to work there, like, who are we to say that it's going to work where we're at? I don't know how anybody could look at that and think, like, with a change of scenery, this guy's going to be different. So I just think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for him to find a job anywhere after this. As for the team, I do think it's a blow. If this had happened last year, I don't think it would have been as big a deal. Like, last year, like, both him and Gronkowski were sort of like bonus weapons, because it was the COVID year, because those guys came in late, because everything was sort of, they did things to incorporate those guys, but they weren't really integrated into the offense. This time around, I mean, when they went through that month where they didn't win a game, Rich, and Brady kind of was up and down and struggled a little bit, a big part of that was that Gronk and AB were out, and so, I think both those guys have become such integral parts to what the Bucs are offensively because of their relationship with the quarterback, because the quarterback trusts them. And so, I think this year, you add, all of that I just said to the fact they're already down Chris Godwin. And I actually think on the football field, it's a pretty significant loss for the Bucs.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.